That's Senate candidate and Congresswoman Val Demings in Florida, referring to a fundraising email her opponent sent to supporters, complaining that Demings was outraising him and asking for help. Republicans had been counting on Rubio to cruise to an easy win in November, but it's suddenly a very tight race, and the Democrats see a chance to get a seat they weren't counting on here in Washington. A new poll finds Rubio holding a slim lead over Demings, 49% to 46%. And joining me now is Kirby Wilson, politics reporter for the Tampa Bay Times and former investigative reporter for the Texas Tribune. Okay, Kirby, how worried is the Rubio camp? Is this real? I mean, he's had a lot of scares before, and he always pulls it out.
You're right. You're definitely right about that. But the Rubio camp tells me they're taking Representative Demings quite seriously. The fundraising disparity is real. She has been a prolific fundraiser throughout the campaign. And she's got, $10 more million than him. However, it's not all bad news for Rubio because Representative Demings is far less well known than Senator Rubio. And so she's had to spend a lot more money to try to just let people know who she is and what she stands for here in Florida.
Right. And this is Val Demings. She was the chief of police in Orlando, Florida. She was actually mentioned as a possible vice presidential running mate to Joe Biden last time around. But when it comes to fundraising, and you just alluded to this, Demings has outraised Rubio so far, her $48 million to his roughly $36 million. And traditionally, Rubio has won that fundraising war. So is he struggling to fundraise, or is she just doing extremely well, or is Republican money going to start coming in late here?
I think it depends on how seriously the national Republicans feel he is threatened. I actually think at this point, his being beaten by her is indicative that they are, their priorities lie elsewhere. Arizona, Pennsylvania, even North Carolina, I think they may have tougher challenges than Florida, where Rubio won by 8 points the last time he ran, which was in 2016, a year when Democrats were expected to do a whole lot better than they ended up doing.
Right. So defund the police. That was a campaign slogan of some in the progressive wing of the party last time around. It was a sort of an albatross around the neck of many Democrats in moderate districts, and certainly it wouldn't help Val Demings in Florida. She's a former chief of police, as we already mentioned. How much of the crime issue that is resonating so well among Republican voters and people willing to vote for Republicans around the country, how much is she inoculated against those charges that Democrats are soft on crime?
I think it's going to be an interesting test case. I've asked her this myself. What do you make of the charges that Senator Rubio makes against you, that you're for defunding the police? And she told me, I'm not for defunding the police. I am the police. And that's really what this early part of the race has been about, is about her trying to define herself as the police candidate. Her first television ad was biographical, talking about how we need to send the chief of police to the U.S. Senate. We need a cop on the beat to roam the halls of Congress. And so I think we're gonna see the votes are going to be quite telling to that point.
Right. And I think we have actually a soundbite from Val Demings talking about the issue that you're talking about and what she says about defunding the police and her stance on that issue.
But it turns out there are some in Washington who prefer the same old tired ways of doing business. Too tired to fight the efforts to suppress the people's vote. They fall back to tired talking points and backward solutions.
He knows exactly
there it is,
what
the memorized 25-second speech. That's what Washington, D.C. does.
Okay, so does she have an uphill battle considering Rubio's long political record, his strength in the Hispanic community in Florida?
In a word, yes. It's of my personal belief that Florida is a red state. People are used to thinking about it as a purple state because of the voter registration numbers. Democrats have long been, have outnumbered Republicans here. That's no longer the case, but it's still about 50-50. But I think if you look at recent election cycles, 2016 went for President Trump, 2020 went for President Trump, 2018 in a good year for Democrats, Senator Rick Scott won, Governor DeSantis won. So certainly she's got an uphill battle.
Right. And Rubio's counterpunching on the defund the police and law enforcement and the whole issue of crime in some of the ads that he's running. Take a listen.
America has failed.
Congresswoman Demings, America hasn't failed. You did.
America didn't vote 100% with Nancy Pelosi. You did that.
America didn't praise defunding the police. That was Val Demings.
And we didn't sell out to liberals, turning our back on law enforcement.
That's just pathetic.
Okay, that's an effort by the Rubio campaign to take away the bona fides, she being a former chief of police, of Val Demings on the issue, putting her own words against her on the defund the police issue. Is that going to have resonance with voters in Florida?
I think it very well could. Senator Rubio is endorsed by the Florida Police Benevolent Association. Dozens of sheriffs, something like 55, 56 of the 67 sheriffs have endorsed him. And so he sees that as a potential weakness that law enforcement could be on Demings' side, and he's trying to flip it on her.
Right. Okay, Kirby, we appreciate you joining us tonight. It's a fascinating race. We're going to keep our eyes on that over the next 2 months.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.